now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Project Management at Smurfit Business School. I'm joined today by Owen Taff, who is the admissions manager, or one of our admissions managers at Smurfit. So good to see you, Owen. And Owen is going to be kind of talking through the chat or the Q&A box mostly, and answering any questions that you might have on the admissions process. We've also in the background got Kathy Timlin, who is one of the marketing managers for the college, and she'll also be kind of keeping an eye on the Q&A. Now the chat window I believe is disabled, so you won't be able to put stuff into the chat, but you should be able to put stuff into the Q&A window. I've got that open, and as I say, Owen and Kathy can see that as well. So please do ask any questions that we don't cover as we go through, and what I'll try and do is leave a few minutes at the end to make sure that we can answer everybody's questions as we go through. Should run about half an hour, so that's the plan. So I've set a timer to stop in about 20 minutes, and that should give us some time for Q&A at the end. Okay, so hopefully you're here because you're interested in coming to Smurfit and maybe looking at the Masters in Project Management, and I'm the program director for that program. Started it, co-developed that program back in 2005 with a colleague of mine, Ken Meets, and it's still going, and we have, as you will hear as we go through, a full-time and a part-time offering. There's lots of different programs at Smurfit. We've had a whole afternoon of presentations from all the different masters programs. So you're sport for choice when you come to Smurfit in terms of the masters that you could do. So why project management? What would attract you to project management? It's currently one of the most highly in demand skill sets globally in businesses of all kinds. So some of the master's programs equip you for, quite a niche, quite a specific skill set. So if you want to go into supply chain or you want to go into, strategic management or whatever, we have master's programs just for that, or for digital marketing and stuff like that. Project management is a generic skill set which applies across the board. So if you've got project management skills, you can go into almost any industry, and we put our graduates into every industry. They obviously go into project management kind of companies, but they go into media, RTE and TV. They go into the banks, they go into all the ITs like Facebook and Google and Microsoft and all the rest of it, all of whom are in Dublin. So it opens a lot of doors. So if you're not quite sure where you want to end up, you want to get into business, but you're looking for something that won't kind of close off avenues, then maybe project management is one of those to look at. So a bit like management consulting, it will let you into a lot of different places. It's not highly technical. A lot of people think project management must be all about, spreadsheets and PERT and Gantt and CPM and all this technical stuff. And it isn't. It's about people, mainly. You get projects done through people, through communications, through organization and planning and stuff like that. And that's what we take you through. We take you through, okay, how can you get things done quicker, faster, and better first time? Okay. Is it open to people without an undergraduate degree in business? I think if you had a very, very good CV with a lot of compensatory experience, we would certainly take a look at you. I think it's normally a 2-1 is the kind of like, yes, you can come. But if you haven't got a 2-1 undergrad degree, then make your case when you apply. And Owen and the other admissions team will have a look at that. Sometimes they'll bounce it up to my desk as well. And we will take, on your merits, because some people didn't get that primary degree, but they've got fantastic experience. And the admissions process, really what we're looking for, that it's a filter. and we'll let anybody in that we think will succeed, we think, can succeed. So don't be put off. But you may just have to run through a couple of extra hoops. And Owen, I'm sure, will write to that as well. He's typing an answer now. Okay. So a very practical, skills-based program which will equip you for work in the real world. Most of our lecturing team have either worked in, businesses, running projects, and still in some cases do as well. So there is an academic component to the course, but it's really very, very practical and very skills based. These are some of the key trends going on in business generally, but certainly in PM, because PM is the way that change is enacted in businesses. Okay. Sustainability is massive. I mean, whatever you look at the moment in business, sustainability is almost at the center of it. Companies have really woken up to the fact that we do have finite resources and we need to do things in a sustainable manner. And a lot of change is going on where companies are trying to become more sustainable, to adopt more sustainable practices. And those are all done through projects. Okay. Obviously, artificial intelligence is something that is growing, year on year. And again, how do you introduce that stuff? How do you make the changes? Artificial intelligence is one thing, emotional intelligence is another. And this is one of the core things that you need as a leader and a manager today, is the ability to connect with other people, to lead by example, to empathize, to be self-aware, all this kind of stuff. So we cover emotional intelligence quite a lot during the course, and you will develop your own skills in that area. We've just come out of, best part of 2 years of remote working, of remote teaching, and distributed teams is not going away. It was there before, but it's certainly not going away now. So you will learn how to operate at distance through Zoom, through Teams, through many different platforms. The ability to analyze data is something that is becoming increasingly important as projects leverage larger data sets, Internet of Things, that kind of stuff. So there's an awareness certainly in the program of data analytics. Now, we're not going to go into it in huge amounts of detail. If you want to do that, there's a master's program for data analytics, and they would love to have you. But it's certainly something in the mix. Projects enacting strategy is crucial, always has been crucial. So, the big strategy is set at the top of a company, and then how do we make that strategy into reality? Through projects, through sets of projects, programs. And how to do that, we will teach you how to do that. We'll teach you how to set those programs and projects up. We will teach you how to run those projects and how to rescue them when they get into trouble, all that kind of stuff. So, you are, as a project manager, you are a change agent. And that's what we teach you, change. And there's never just one approach. You may have heard of the PMI and Prince 2 and all these different buzzwords around running projects, agile and Scrum and all this kind of stuff. We do it all. Okay, so we cover all of those different approaches. So you will have this massive toolbox at the end of the master's program, and you'll be able to pick and choose from the best tools and the best approaches and apply them to whatever situations you find yourself in. This is March last year, March 2021, and this was the most in-demand tech skills by job postings that month. And as you can see, certainly in the tech sector, project management is way up there. So come and do project management, you're not really going to have a big problem finding a job. By 2027, according to current research, there's going to be about 18 or 90 million new roles in project management globally. Well, one of those is yours. So if you come and study project management, you'll be in one of those roles in a year's time. We've run the Masters in Project Management both as a full-time and a part-time course for many years now, and we're continuing to do that. I've got some news for you, which is kind of breaking news in a few minutes about the part-time course, so stick around for that. So you can come and do it over 1 year full-time, which is mainly day sessions in college, or you can do 2 years part-time, and that's aimed at people who are working but still want to, increase their skills with a master's. And if you are working and you come and do the Masters in Project Management, I mean, I say this in the first lecture, you almost certainly won't be in the same job at the end of the 2 years that you're in when you start, because you will have either been promoted or you will have moved to another role somewhere else with, a better position. Everything you learn every week is directly transferable and translatable into work, and you will just see your abilities to deliver skyrocket. And we see it year after year after year with all of our part-time, particularly students, because they're actually in work. So full-time is 3 semesters. So you start in September and you do 1 semester through to the end of November. And then you get Christmas off and the first couple of weeks of January. And then we do January through to the end of April, end of April, start of May. And then there's a summer semester, which runs May through to mid-August. So mid-August, you're done. 3 taught modules per semester in the first 2 semesters. And each one of those modules means that you've got to be in class for 3 hours a week. So you've got 9 classroom hours a week. And then all the rest of the time is yours to do as you will, but it's a full-time job. So you don't come and do the full-time program with a job. You can have an evening job, couple of evenings a week maybe, that kind of thing. But we're expecting 40 to 50 hours of effort out of you each week for the Masters if you do a full-time program. If you're working already, have a look at the part-time program. Okay, so you can see we've only got 2 modules per semester in the part-time program, so it's a lighter load, and it's doable. It's tough. You've got to move things around. You've got to clear the decks. You've got to change your calendar. You can't be doing all the things you're doing before a master's during a master's, but it is very doable. Is there an internship mandatory for the MSc? No, there isn't. Both of them finish with a capstone project. So the final summer of your either 1 year or 2 year, you have to do a major report of some kind. But that can be anything you like, as long as it's to do with project management. Now, some students go off and do an internship, and they perhaps will write up their experience on the internship in some form of a report. It might be a business plan, or it may be a process analysis, or it might be some kind of an academic paper. It's completely up to you. Okay, but you don't have to do an internship. You can just do the final summer and write your report on whatever you want to do without having an internship. But there will be opportunities for internships, and we bring different companies in, and they're interested to work with you. You will also be working with some real companies during the program, and also real charities. So, if you haven't got much work experience, you will finish the Masters having worked with companies and charities, which helps you build your CV up. So thanks for that question, Alessio. So the breaking news, and you are some of the first people to hear this, is that we are moving the part-time program online from this coming September. So up to now, we've run the part-time program like the full-time program in class, physical sessions in class. But given the experience of COVID and the demand in the marketplace, we're going to move that program online. So it will be taught through Zoom, remotely. There will be 1 or 2 opportunities per semester for some physical interaction on campus if that's what you want. But what we envisage is that some people will want to do this fully remotely, and maybe, they won't even be in Ireland, so it won't be an option for them to come to campus, in which case we'll facilitate those sessions with, people zooming in and interacting with the class that are there physically. It's not 100% confirmed yet, but it's going through the kind of college internal approvals processes, and all the major stakeholders have kind of indicated that they're behind this. So that's why I'm kind of putting it out there now for you, because we're interested in finding out whether you want this. We're pretty sure that you do, because we have done some more market research as well. But if that part-time mode of study is attractive, maybe you were thinking, I don't know about the travel in the evenings and all the rest of it. Well, the travel in the evenings won't be a problem anymore. So whether you're in Galway or Cork or Belfast or the UK or Europe or wherever now, you'd be able to do this fully remotely. I have a student who finished her first year and was offered a dream job in Berlin last year. So she came and she said, "What do I do?" And I said, "You go for your dream job, okay? It's opened the door to you. Go and do your dream job, okay? And we come back when you can, or we'll try and facilitate you completing your program." Well, I told her we were going online, and she's thrilled to bits. So Alice will be finishing off her masters starting in 2023 when we run the second year remotely. So this is going to work, I think. It's a very practical program. Okay, so we bring in. This semester, for one of the modules, I brought in 12 companies, and each of the student teams is working with one of the companies to do a feasibility analysis stroke business plan with the company on some aspect of improving their operations. And that's like a 15 week project, and it's like a real consultancy project. And the teams are treated like a team of consultants. And they go in and they have meetings with the company, and they do research, and they come up with proposals, and then they will pitch their proposals towards the end of the 14 weeks, and they'll submit a final report. So really, really practical skill building, experiential learning. And in the final semester, a similar type project, but now with a charity. So it might be fundraising, or it may be awareness raising, or whatever. And, these are year on year. Students say these are great learning experiences that really help them cement the theory learning that you get in maybe the first semester and the second semester into, I can do this. This really works. So it will develop your confidence and your skills and your abilities in ways that you won't even know about until you kind of have experienced them. So there's the charity assignment. And as you can see, we've got people of all ages coming on these programs. Now, the full-time program is typically made up mostly of the post-primary degree, mid-20s, maybe a year or two's experience somewhere, but mostly straight out of the first degree, topping up with a master's. But then in a class of, say, 40 or 45, there will be 5 to 10 more mature students who want to do the full-time over 1 year, but have got a few years experience as well. There's a great mix. We're a global university, and the project management cohort is always really international. I have, I think, 13 nationalities in the class this year. So India, China, Vietnam, USA, UK, Europe. We generally have some SEMS students in from the Erasmus and SEMS programs as well. So it's a real melting pot, and you learn to work with people from different cultures, from different backgrounds. It's one of the master's programs at Smurfit that is open to people from any discipline. So you don't have to be from a business discipline to come and do the project management masters. So we've had nurses, we've had priests, we've had Gardaí and policemen and policewomen and doctors come through this program and go off back to their different professions, or use it as a way of changing profession. So, whether you're social sciences or arts or music or anything, project management will take you if you can satisfy the entrance requirements. You automatically get professional membership of the Institute of Management Consultants and Advisors when you are accepted onto the program for the period that you're with us, and then 1 year post. So that's quite a prestigious professional organisation that has certified the program. So you get graduate membership of that. And we also generally host a couple of events with the Project Management Institute, the Irish chapter of that. And many of the people who are actually running the Irish chapter now are graduates of the program. So it's a fantastic networking opportunity for people. And in memory of Ken Meets, who co-founded the program with me back in 2005, we have a memorial medal which is awarded to the top student of each year. So start in September, and your name may be on that in 2023. Wouldn't that be lovely? This is from one of my current students. They did a reflection at the end of the first semester. The first surprise for me was the breadth of information we received on the course and how much more enjoyable it was, than I thought it would be originally. I'd not expected how valuable the modules would turn out to be. They caught me by surprise and have excited me about being a project manager. And I think, whether it's this program or whether it's any of the others at Smurfit, Smurfit will surprise you. Smurfit will excite you. We are a world-class institution. We are a world-class university. And it's not like school. We will challenge you. We will stretch you. We will develop you in ways that you don't yet know. And it's a really good experience. So we would love to see you. We would love for you to come and join us. There's all the information. I think Kathy has also put those links up in the chat window. So if you haven't got the chat window open, maybe just open the chat window, and Kathy's put the project management course pages there. Smurfitschool.ie is the general website, and if you to apply to this or any of the other programs, you just follow the admissions link, or Smurfit Careers. There we are. Shreya, is there any batch for MSc in project management from January 2022? No, our entry points at the moment are September. Okay, so we run the year from September. So the next entry point would be September 2022, Shreya. But as I say, just contact Smurfit Admissions. They were smurfit.admissions@ucd.ie, and it'll probably end up on Owen's desk if it's project management. If you get a conditional offer from UCD, Owen, can you talk to this one maybe? Is it mandatory to submit IELTS scores before the February deadline? I think you can put the paperwork in afterwards, can't you? As long as we have it before the program starts.
Yeah. So I suppose just with respect to that question. So in case you're going to, so no, the Global Excellence Scholarship is assessed separately to your application for the program. So the criteria or the conditions on your offer pertain specifically to your offer. But I suppose to be considered for the Global Excellence Scholarship, you must hold an offer by the 28th of February deadline. The English language can be provided at a later date. That's fine.
Right. Okay. So the moral of that story is get your applications in early, because that Global Excellence Scholarship is well worth having. But you need to be in pretty quickly to do that. Okay. Now, I can see Kathy putting in a few extra links in the chat window for everybody there. Unibuddy is fantastic. You can connect with current students and ask them questions. So, it's one thing listening to me as the program director, giving you the sales pitch, if you like, but if you really want the real skinny about a program, talk to the actual students who've been through the process, and Unibuddy will allow you to get some feedback from them. So yeah, that's highly recommended. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any more open questions. Oh, well, there we are. I'm from India. I did my postgrad diploma in accounting and am now working as a trainee accountant. Would I still need IELTS to apply? So again, that's probably one for you, Owen.
Yeah, so what I'd say is, look, the best thing to do would be to contact me directly, and we can look at your circumstance and situation. I suppose your circumstance will be relatively unique. So what we'll do is we'll assess it on an individual basis, and then we can make a decision. So what I'll do is I'll drop my email address up here for you, and look, feel free to send me a communication, and I will get back to you if that's okay.
Great. There's a couple of other ones come in here. So for the company and capstone projects, will we be allocated to different teams based on our preference? The teams during each of the first 2 semester modules, you get allocated to the teams. Okay, so we allocate the teams out, and you work with whatever team you're put in, and you get to signal which company you would prefer to work with as a team, and then we kind of try and match the team preferences with the companies so that everybody's working with one of their top 3 preferences normally. For the capstone project, you will have a lot more latitude in terms of what you do with that project. So I don't allocate you to any particular company or whatever. You come up with the idea for your project. If we can link you up with a company, we will, but the capstone project is very much your baby to organize, and we will help you with that. So you have a good deal of latitude on that one. With a degree in law and 7 years work experience managing a business, why project management? What would you be able to do with it? Well, it kind of depends. I mean, I think what we find is that a lot of people with post experience like yourself have got certain ways of doing things. And what we will show you is perhaps other different ways of doing things, of assessing situations, of processing change, which possibly will be more effective than the way you are currently operating. Now, you may be super organized, super effective, and that may not be the case. But in the last 10 or 15 years of running the program, most people who come through it, certainly the post-experienced people, are surprised at how much they learn about becoming more effective at planning and executing. So it kind of depends where you want to go afterwards with this. But even if you just want to carry on running the business that you're running today, I think you'll find that you will be running it in a different way post the program. The non-EEA securing a job after graduating. Owen, can you talk to the visa issue?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll answer the second part of the question first, and the first part second. So are you allowed to stay in Ireland to secure a job? So yes, once you've graduated from your program, you're entitled to a 2-year postgraduate work visa. So on that visa, you can work full time after you've graduated. While you're studying the program, you're entitled to work 20 hours a week during term time and 40 hours a week outside of term. Now, what we'll always say is, look, and as Joe has referenced, there is a significant workload on all of our master's programs. Project management is no different. So I suppose I'll always urge you, first and foremost, to focus on the program, particularly in semester 1. If you're coming from outside the EU, it's a new environment, new country, new culture, new ways of teaching and learning. So the first semester is very much give you a chance to bed down, understand the program, do well in your assignments and your assessments. I suppose if you're performing well from your perspective in semester 1, then maybe semester 2, consider a part-time job. But I always say first semester 1 is just to get the foundations in place to make sure that you're going to perform well and do yourself justice over the duration of your master's program. Yeah. The next part of your question is, I suppose, securing a job after graduation. Look, I suppose I'll say this, and I say this to any student I ever speak to. The graduate environment is competitive in nature, but when employers come to talk to our students, they come because you're a student and you will be a graduate of Smurfit. They don't look at you from a nationality perspective. They look at the skill sets that you have and you bring and that you will gain within Smurfit. They're the things that they focus on when they engage with our potential students. So it's making sure that when you're engaging with them and pitching yourself, you emphasize your skill sets, your ability and your knowledge, and make yourself, I suppose, stand out from your peers and those that you compete with. The key thing is it's that skill set and that knowledge and that uniqueness that you bring to the job. Where you're from is a very, very distant second, and it's not something that is taken into consideration by employers.
And there's a lot of support within the college to help you with that job search. I mean, we have a fantastic careers team. In the program itself, we work with you on, your networking skills and your CV and your LinkedIn profiles, all that kind of stuff. So, there's loads of help for you during the course of your studies in how to approach the job market, be seen, be attractive, and to be honest, Smurfit's one of the top colleges in the world. The employers are coming in looking for you. We have regular events where the employers come and set up stands and they are grabbing CVs and they're looking for you. So you are pretty in demand, and as you'll see from the employment numbers on virtually all of the programs, they're very high percentages of people ex Smurfit, 3 or 6 months after Smurfit are in the job, and pretty much, if you want to go traveling, then you won't come into those numbers, but otherwise you're likely to be in a job pretty soon after you've finished. Who wants the graduates of the project management? Well, as I said earlier on, you can pretty much go anywhere. All the project management consultancies and the big four consultancies certainly, and also the smaller consultancies. But then all the ITs, all the technical firms, the banks, because it's a generic skill set that applies across all types of industry. If you work for a big four and you're interested to do the next step, well, what's your next step? Is your next step moving into a corporate rather than a consulting? Is it setting up your own business? Yeah. And our graduates do both of those. So, whatever your next step is, what we can do is we can also allow you to do the assignments in a way that will add value to where you want to go. Okay. So a lot of the assignments are very flexible, and they allow you to, work on stuff and build up a portfolio or build up a skill set so that you're going towards the goal that you would hope to achieve post Smurfit. We're not just saying do this assignment and write these words, to get a grade. We're looking past Smurfit and trying to build you up to where you want to be. MBA or project management? Well, I can talk to that one because my first experience of Smurfit was doing the MBA. I did the International Exec MBA Fridays and Saturdays. If you want a career change and you want to get into middle to senior management, the MBA is a brilliant program. Okay, because it gives you a holistic view of the entire kind of business spectrum, from accounting to marketing to finance, to all the different parts of a business, and shows you how they interact. A project management master's isn't pushing you into kind of senior management roles straight away. It's more a doer's role. So you're probably going to go in at the kind of high junior to middle rank management structure where you're running teams, you're making things happen. So the two different degree programs have got kind of slightly different focuses, and we're trying to prepare you for different things. I don't know, have you got any more on that, Owen, in terms of?
No, I think I'm going to say, Joe, you've practically taken the words out of my mouth. To be honest, with respect to exactly what the MBA does with respect to advancing your career up from a relatively sort of mid up to senior level type role, and what that program envisages and covers. Whereas obviously the project management is a different type. What I would say, I generally tend to say, is the MBA is a more broad-based general type master's program, as you say. It covers off the key fundamentals within the management environment. Project management is obviously much more focused and focuses on one specific and specialized area, yet the skill set that you build is obviously highly transferable across a multitude of different sectors. It very much depends on what you want to do and where you want to go, which program will be the best fit for you with respect to growing and furthering your career.
And I mean, talk to the admissions team. If that's still a kind of question for you, talk to the admissions team. And they will be able to engage with you, find out a little bit more about where you want to go, and point you in the right direction.
It's a process of, exactly, of teasing it out and having a conversation and looking at, I suppose, I always say, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? I know it's a very difficult question for anyone to answer, but it's even looking at the bigger picture and then mapping back a little bit to see what will facilitate you on that journey, so that at least you're on the right path, and that's the most important thing.
Now I can see we're 5 minutes over, and Kathy has put in the chat there that the webinar has been recorded, so you can watch it back on the YouTube channel once it appears live in the next day or two. So I think we better probably wrap it up, because I'm not sure is there a session on after us or not. But thank you all for coming, and I hope to see you at Smurfit in September or on Zoom. Okay, and there in the chat, Kathy's also put an MBA Insights event on Thursday, February the 17th. That anonymous attendee asking about the MBA, that might be an event worth having a look at as well. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.